Hey guys, welcome back. So it is a rainy day today. It's the beginning of November and it's about 6 degrees Celsius, and which is kind of cold when it's this rainy and damp out. But I got a new tarp setup that I really wanted to try, and I thought this would be the best day to come out and try it. To most people this would be kind of miserable weather, and it certainly can be, but it's also kind of cozy weather and nice weather to go out, hang a tarp, and make some coffee. We're gonna do that. So I'm kind of just wandering around in the woods right now trying to find a spot. Kind of enjoying it though. I'm just gonna taking it all in. Alright, I'll keep looking. Alright, I think I'm gonna try this spot. I have the tarp that I'm trying out today is a 15 by 15, so it's enormous. It's brand new to me. I don't know if this is enough space, but we're gonna try it and see how it goes. So there's the tarp. I gotta get my cordage out first. Got some Prusik nuts on here. I just keep them on. This is my main tarp rigging paracord situation. Alright, so for my adjustable knot on this side, I like to do a taut line hitch. I wrap my working end around my standing end once. Then I go around my standing end again on the inside. And then again on the outside. Okay, so it looks like that. Then I put it through the loop that it made. You're kind of going to have this looking like this. Tighten it up. And then what that does is makes it adjustable, but then holds it. So on this end, I like to do a trucker's hitch. You create a loop like that. Grab the standing line, put it through the loop that you just made. I'm just going to slide that down a bit. And then tighten it up. And what that's going to do is put a bite in the line like this. Then with that bite, you put your working end through it. And this is going to get a little bit confusing because I have so much rope that I'm not going to pull it all through. But this is the rope here that I have pulled through, and this allows you to tighten that like crazy. Really yank it tight. Then I hold the bite with my hands. I wrap my working end around and then through just to create a stopper knot. And that's it. You can cinch it as much as you want. And then I can always adjust either the tension here or the tension on the other side depending on what I need for the tarp. Alright, so the tarp I'm using is the AquaQuest Safari in my favorite green color. And this is the first time I'm using it. I have their 10 by 10 Safari. The Safari model has so many tie-outs, which is why it's really nice for like bushcraft and stuff, because all the tie-out points give you lots of options for different tarp setups. So today I'm going to do the Adirondack tarp setup, which is basically a 3-sided setup that also allows you to have the corners tucked underneath as a ground sheet. So this is a prusik knot. Basically all it is a loop, like that. And you tie it around once, and then through again. Tighten it all down. It works best when the loop you're using for the prusik is thinner than your tarp line. So this one is a 325 paracord, and my main line is a 550 paracord. So I just need another one. So this is how the prusik knots work. They keep tension on your tarp, and they're adjustable. So just move them as you need. Tighten your tarp as you need. These things are super handy. My favorite way to rig up a tarp, that's for sure. Man, it's so cool how big this is. All right, let's shove my gear under here. Alright, so now I need to do two things. I need to get firewood, and I need to make stakes to stake out my tarp. This guy right here, nice dry dead standing spruce. That's going to prove to be both our firewood and our stakes. So I'm just going to chop this guy down. Just to be clear, this is dead standing, which means that it is completely dead, not alive anymore, and it will fall on its own eventually. So I'm going to chop this guy down and use it for today, and it should be everything I need just in this one dead standing tree. Whew. It's warm. There it goes. I'm going to use my taut line hitch on this as well. Get that nice and low. So, got this all set up now. Oops. I finally got my hands dried off a bit. The rain is really coming down. I still have lots to do. I still gotta cut up some firewood, get a little fire going, get my coffee going. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Holy, this tarp is massive. It's like a castle under here. It's huge. And of the ground mat underneath here, which is so handy. Keep your stuff off the forest floor. You could easily sleep like 2 or 3 people under here. So this is not really a conventional Adirondack shelter because I didn't have the space to do that. So typically I would have, this kind of awning situation would have been a little bigger, and I would have gone one more loop on this side. Then it would truly stake out, because it's a square tarp, it would stake out perfectly like an Adirondack shelter. So this side is exactly what you're looking for. It goes from that tie out down to the bottom, and it should do the same thing on this side. Anyway, my point is, it's a little unconventional. It's not exactly an Adirondack shelter, but due to the lack of space that I had, and the forest I'm in, and the time that I had for the rain, to beat the rain, this is pretty darn good, and I staked it out really well. So I'm just going to raise this up a bit so I can actually comfortably walk underneath here. I'm short. Okay. So now I gotta cut up some firewood, cut and split it because everything's pretty wet. Oh, I got a new blade on this, and it is the best thing in the world. Alright, choppy time. That's nice and dry. That will work. The dust off of that. Just a little axe safety tip for those looking on who might be beginners or wondering why I'm splitting like this rather than the wood standing upright. This is a lot safer, not only for me, but for like protecting my axe. If I had these up like this, which you can do, and I have done in this kind of way where I have like a piece of wood in front of it to prevent my axe from going into the dirt, but like I don't have a proper stump or anything to split these on, so this is actually the safest way, is to have it over another log and me standing far back, and as I come down with the axe, I'm bending down with it so that if this ever glanced, it's not going to go into my shin or my foot. It's just going to go either into the log underneath or down into the ground because I'm coming right down with it. So, and it can't go anywhere, whereas if I stayed up here, then it could glance, go into my shin and everything. If you really want to be safe out here, you can swing from your knees, which I do sometimes as well. But you get a little less power. Or not. That was pretty flawless. So then Sometimes if the axe is in there like that, split it down like that. The only very important safety tip about splitting like this is that when your wood is resting on your log, you don't want it to come over the log like this, where you can hit here and then it'll smack up into your face. You always want your piece of wood to be about halfway across the log, so that's the only real thing to watch for. But otherwise, this is a pretty safe method of splitting smaller sized wood when you don't have a proper like splitting station. I think I better aim for my feet. There we go. Another way that you can split this way is by holding the axe and your wood together, like that. This can work sometimes, depending on the situation. Then you just split it apart like that. But I'll do it again on this one. This one's pretty dead, so yeah, just kind of busting apart. So that's a safe method too. Alright, so I took a little gander. There isn't a lot of small stuff out here to get my fire going, so I'm going to do a split wood fire, which is going to be tricky with this wood because it's not the greatest, but essentially what that means, I'm just going to keep splitting down these logs as much as I can to get to the inside wood, get some different sizes of split wood to get my fire going. So that's like a nice medium size right there. We don't really need to touch that one. But like something like this, you can split down further, and I'll use this method for that. Yeah, and that's actually splitting okay. So smaller, and then from there, I'll go even smaller. That, and then I'll get these little bits, which takes a lot of effort, but when everything's soaked, sometimes it's all you can do. Actually splitting down pretty nice. I'm surprised. Those are some pretty nice starter pieces, just like that. That one can go down a bit more. There we go. Nice. So another trick in a forest like this is that there's no birch bark, which is what I normally use. It's like the fastest way to get a fire going. But another method when you're doing split wood and everything's wet is to make some feather sticks. And essentially with feather sticks, you're making little curls with lots of surface area that will catch a spark from a fire steel. And then you work through your different sizes of wood. So, Trust and Timber, great YouTube channel, great couple, just did a really awesome video on this actually, on making feather sticks, and he gave 10 great tips. So I highly recommend you go watch it, because it actually definitely helped me. Like, this is some of the best feather sticks I've ever done. But I think my knife needs a good bit of a touch up too. Alright, so there's one to get us started. I've got a big base of logs here. I don't plan on having a big fire today, so it shouldn't even burn through these logs. And this will allow me to do a leave no trace fire. So basically the logs will take the brunt of it, but these logs are rotten and wet. So I just created a really nice base of that. They're all really tight together, and it's a big base too. So I've got lots of room to put my fire, and all I'm doing is a fire big enough to boil some water for coffee. That's it. So I'm going to create my fire on this base. I've cleared out the ground beneath it as well, and I'll make myself a little bit more room around it. But everything is soaking wet. I'm not too worried about anything catching a spark. So that's going to allow us to protect the ground, protect the roots underneath, and be responsible out here. So just for good measure, I'm going to go collect a few lower hanging spruce branches that are dry, just to help get this fire going. Not out of the woods yet. Starting a fire in the rain certainly separates the men from the boys in this stuff. Can take a bit of nursing, but I think we might have her. My twigs are a little damp on the outside, but not enough that it stifles it. Trying to pile my wood on fairly early, but leaving lots of airflow, so that it can help dry it out a bit as it goes. And also shelter it from the rain that's coming in right now. Okay, so I know it's probably hard to tell in the camera, but I do have my fire a safe distance from my tarp. It's not directly under my tarp because it's a still nylon tarp. It'll burn a hole in it, no problem. It's not like it's an oilskin tarp or anything, so I do have to be careful about that. But the wind is taking it that way, which is perfect. It's blowing all the smoke and everything away. My fire is going. It feels so nice. So I'm gonna get my coffee ready to get on there. Oh, that feels so good. Oh yeah, my base is gonna work out perfectly. Okay, so for coffee this time, I brought a mocha pot. So basically it's kind of like a percolator for anyone who hasn't used it. You put the water and the coffee, water in the bottom, coffee in the tray, that on top of that. As it boils and as it heats up and the steam comes up through the coffee and up through the little pipe in the... I don't actually fully know how this works, but it's something like that. Anyway, the coffee comes out the top. The trick with this is going to be getting my base straight enough for the mocha pot to sit on. Yeah, ready to go. Alright, that should work. So, I'll begin at the top there. Ah! Handle's a little hot. Oh, not bad. Yeah. Beautiful. I brought some cream out. Oh, beautiful. The mocha pot makes a really nice cup of coffee, even if you don't have the best grounds. Cheers. So, I planned on bringing my coffee grinder and some fresh beans and everything, but nobody seemed to appreciate that on my last video. So I hope that you camp coffee critics can appreciate this, at least. I very much appreciate coffee outdoors. I think it's like one of the most cozy things that you could ever do is when you're outdoors, is drink coffee. But I am also very serious about my coffee. I have an espresso machine at home, and I make lattes regularly. So yeah, coffee is like a very important thing for me, and I get fresh beans that are roasted with, and use them within a month of being roasted. So like having that at home has really made me appreciate good tasting coffee. So that last video I made with the stovetop espresso maker that you can bring anywhere, so many people were like, that's way too much work for coffee. But like, I feel like it's with anything, like so many people enjoy doing camp chores, because there's just something satisfying about it. And that's how I feel about coffee. So if I gotta like manually grind the beans, it's not a big deal. But I do have some other ways of making coffee coming, so stay tuned. I am doing this little series of like making coffee in different places. So today was the mocha pot, which is a very popular outdoor way of making coffee, or popular stovetop way of making coffee as well. But yeah, this was a great day, and the sun is popping out, which is crazy. I did not think that was going to happen. You can barely see me on this. It is proper dark now. Way darker than what my phone is showing. I've got my fire completely out now, and it's starting to pour rain again, and the camera's not showing anything at this point, so I'm gonna throw my jacket back on, hike out. I'll catch you guys at the, well, at the, not the trailhead, but where I parked my my quad, and we'll see if I even make it there. Oh my god, it's so dark. It is pouring now, and I just got to my quad, which is a really good feeling. Oh, this is good. All set. Glad to find my four-wheeler. Alright, just made it back. That was a soaking wet ride. Ooh, very cold. But all is well. Machine's in the garage, and I think I'm going to unpack everything tomorrow. But I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.